Results for round 21. People's squad were very much just sticking in that same rank, which is frustrating there. 951 and just really missing out on a couple of the big scorers. So we got Murray at the 70, which was great. No Tedesco was kind of the hurting factor there. Obviously, Karaz was solid at the 43, but you're missing out on 44 points down below there. A little bit of an issue. Obviously, Preston missing the game. We had to take Sanders Smith's 33 in the end. Having Fafita in the squad. No Cleary was obviously helpful, but having Moses at 35 in there as well. Payne Haas just underperforming, just a tad at 55 there. And then just, Garrick at 58 was good. Yeah, Kraz could have been a lot worse. So, yeah, definitely things could have been worse in our squad. And having 4 trades remaining there, 56k in the bank. We look forward to this week coming. And thankfully, it seems like with Preston, it was just a flu. So, for him, he should be back in and playing. We've got Torkel Harrison, we've got Johnson. So, with the look of this squad right now, we do have plenty of mids at the moment, but with how well Harris is scoring, he's likely to sustain our squad. Unsure what's going to happen with Harrison Graham, as I just said in the previous video. It looks like Jeremy Marshall-King will be back. So does he feature on the bench? Does he not play at all? Sounds like potentially Val gets back in the center spot, but we will find out in the team list. So having the 2 out minimum and then potentially Graham likely off the bench. We don't want to play him. That would be 3 out. And then, Val, we're unlikely going to be wanting to play him either. And then Sandon Smith at that point would be our 17th man. And you're playing Karaz as well. And obviously Lemuelu. So plenty of wing fullback centers and then, okay halves kind of thing in Sandon, giving us a couple of 30 odds now in a row. So would we look at trading this week? I'm not exactly sure because, you could look at Moses as a potential trade out, but we do only have the 2 Eels players. So you could look at that and go, well, maybe we just hold them for the rest of the season. Do you look at potentially Moses going to Cleary somehow and then we downgrade in another position, whether that is Val? We do a downgrade to a Colquhoun or something like that. That could definitely work. I wouldn't be completely opposed to that one, but then Cleary didn't play that well either. So he's got a high break even again. Do you want to grab him this week or do you look to do it in another week or so? Or you can make decisions on that one there. But that's the people at the moment. The 951, okay, obviously could have been a lot better. Could have been worse so as well. So we'll take it. Preston likely would have picked up a 50, you'd say, in this one. So we missed out on maybe 17 with him with the flu. Not the worst, as I said there in that one. So that's the people squad sitting in an okay position. Obviously 4 trades. There's a few more than a lot have. Average trades in the top 1,000, I think is 4.7, which makes sense. There's a few there sitting with like 10 or so, and heaps sitting in the below that at the 2 range. But really the 4 seems pretty normal going forward here. Looking at my squad, just under the 1,000 with the downgrades from Cleary, which was, as we've said already, pretty frustrating at that one. But my squad there, having my 3 most expensive guys in Fafita, Moses, and also Cleary, going under, unfortunately. Oh, apart from Horsburgh now, so he's he goes into 2nd most expensive now, which is cool. 3rd, sorry. Scratch that. I forgot about Hines there at 984 now. He was just over a mil last week, but he still underperformed based on his price there. Harry Grant, getting him in a couple of weeks ago has been a little bit frustrating, but 62 last week into the low one here. Cop the good with the bad, unfortunately. Robson and Cook, who I had, didn't perform much better either, so wouldn't have mattered on that front. Some of my outstanding players with Tedesco, Penasini, obviously the 59 for Penn, 87 for Teddy in that one, Horsburgh 69, which we unfortunately miss out on in the people squad. Maxi King, the 55, was a big standout, obviously. Brendan Hands, 46, and Jesse at 48 there. Sounds like Val might return this week as well. So even if he doesn't, I'd say at this point we will have 2 loopers, which would be cool. But I think 1 is probably all we're going to need at this point, given, Johnson's going to be out. Hines or Moses will come back into that starting half spot. And we can look at potentially making a decision. Do we look to trade out Moses right now? But if we do trade him out at 832k, what do we do as a straight swap? 832 plus 17 is what I have in the bank. It ends up obviously a little bit under that 857 of Payne Haas. You've got options in straight swaps of Isaiah. And then really from there, it's not too exciting at those prices. You can go to a DCE or a Munster, which would be fine. But then, the extra cash that you're garnering from that, like you may as well hold Moses, because I think that, he could go back to a pretty good score against the Storm this week. And they'll definitely be wanting a bounce back game, given they lost a very poor kind of outing against the Cowboys there. So if I was to do that trade, it's likely going to be a double trade, and I'd be wanting to target obviously Garrick and to get some good cover in the center and wing fullback would be amazing. So I could downgrade to him and then upgrade Buller that could work really well. So I can actually, by about 10k, get Buller and Moses to Murray and Ruben Garrick. Would leave him with 2 trades remaining, cover in each position, which is great, and then 3 Eels and not the 4. So yeah, it could definitely work out. Could definitely just hold pat this week as well, considering I'll have a solid sort of 18 or 19. Given Johnson is out, let's just say Val we don't want to play. Jesse, if he keeps his spot, he could be my really solid 19th man. Sorry there. And then we can loop around the other couple of guys there as well. So either way, I think we're going to end up pretty well fine. Cleary should improve from here. Fafita should improve from here. Teddy will downgrade a little bit, which is fine. Penasini probably downgrades a little bit into the 40s again. Really, everyone else, DeBellin should go up a little bit. Horsburgh at 69, probably a little bit of an above his fighting weight. Probably Ian Bateman, probably a little bit under where they should be, or especially Bateman anyway. Moses are way down, so we should be able to get out of that money. We should be able to get in closer to a 60 each and every week, obviously. And Maxi King obviously fought a little bit above his weight. So overall, still like only lost 6 ranks, guys. So 82 to 88 with my 3 of my top 5. I'll fix that now. 3 of my top 5 money men not scoring anywhere near their potential. So yeah, looking into next week, like I said, the title of that previous video is just focusing on averages, right? Because Moses has been a 60 odd average guy. Cleary's in the 70s when he's fit, and Fafita's been a 60 plus guy regularly as well, and he's gone 49, 46 in his last couple of games, which is not nice there at all. Let's go have a look at the rankings up top. And there's a bit going on. So I'm at 88th, and how far am I behind? 631 points behind which is pretty crazy. So Nige, let's see how he went there. He got 1,035. Brenton got 984. Yeah, that makes it a little bit tough. Obviously losing by 50 in 2 weeks in a row. Little frustrating there. Todd with the Beavers, he gets that little bit closer to Brenton, only 7 points behind now. And there's a decent gap to Ben, but even bigger gap to that of SD in getting the 994. So most people seem to be closer to that 1,000 mark. And we've got one of our podcasters, Chris, obviously down there as well. So yeah, congrats to all of the guys in the top 10. If you're seeing your name there in each every week, happy days for you. My squad value goes to 14.83, which is pretty big. So up there with everyone in basically in this top one. Pretty impressive that SD's at 14.53 and is in 5th spot. So actually I need to see the team. Obviously he's just had good scores along the way. Garrick there, Chance played this week, was good. Getting Seb Chris, got Rajab in there. Okay, so yeah, not getting any cash gains from him. Everything else seems to have worked out pretty well. Didn't captain Cleary, Captain Hines made 8 points difference. That was fine. Butcher's good score there. So yeah, strange that they haven't been able to accumulate to, for me being a long way behind points wise, they 300 and almost 300 there behind. See, that's crazy. You look at that, 19,233 is 5th place. I'm less than 300 points behind 5th, but I'm 631 points away from 1st. Wow. Pretty crazy. So my realistic thoughts then, if I'm at 18,955, then 50th is 19,038. So not far behind on that front at all. So, 80 points, is that right? Yeah, 83 points behind 50th. So if I can get the top 50, that would be cool. And that's not that far, but that's not far behind. That's only a few good weeks away. 1,028 is kind of, where I could be. A 914 in this, that's a really tough one. They would have lost you 15 ranks or so, I'd say. Plenty of scores around the 1,000 mark. And we're all getting similar teams, but if you're having all the top dogs like I do, I think that's going to help out in the end for sure. But as I said, big congratulations to all those guys in the top rankings there for sure. Let's go into our leagues then. And private group, I'm into 2nd in the end. So unfortunately, we'll end up missing out on Tungo. And it worked out okay that he ended up getting Seb Chris, but still overall not his best week on that front. Cleary is captain, the 936. So again, just missing out on all the top dogs. Had Garrick in there, but no Teddy, no Corey Horsburgh. Unfortunately there. Had to play Jesse Colquhoun. Ended up pretty lucky on that front as well. So that was that one. Unfortunately, I couldn't get Tungo with a big score on that front. Surprisingly, I've moved up the ranks after having not the best week at all there. Mitchie had a massive week. He had 1,083, moves into 133, and he keeps death riding all my players and actually worked this week, frustratingly enough. But yeah, Murray, DCE, Munster, and Harris. So that terrific bench along with Tedesco. Ramian had to play. in the end. But even here, like, had Brendan Hands and King on the sidelines, along with Joseph Suoli'i, 56, and even a low score from Luce Leilua didn't even need. So the absolute depth on this squad is pretty incredible. So good stuff to Mitchie. It's taken a while to get here, but the squad is absolutely coming together at the right time of the year, and he's not too far behind us now, 80 points behind there. But yeah, Scoop with a solid week as well, 114th. He is now 1,002, so not too far behind me there. Just under 60 points behind, which is pretty crazy. And then Matt, unfortunately, lost a couple more ranks. Nothing crazy, but 990 this week in at 57th. We're still fairly close here to catch up to Matty. But the race for the top of the ladder now, with Mitch coming in and Brad having a belter at 1,049, it has, we have 6 guys now in the top sort of 100 or so, which is really cool. As my internet dies. Here we are. We are back. So he's 1,049. He's into 167. So we got 6 of us in the top 200 there, which is great. And yeah, we'll keep rolling from there. Let's go into the rest of the spot there. In my leagues, I did win a bunch of them. Fantasy Pro came back after a shocker last week to have a dominant win in this one, 1,059, but sitting in second or third in all of them, which is great. Battle of the Podcast still stick in 4th spot there with Scoop just behind me. Mark, where'd he end up? 996, exact same as me. TK ended up at 1,008. Okay, so decent little one there. Eddie had a massive one. I was following him. No Cleary. I was like, yes, this is my chance to catch up a little bit. Just didn't happen. DCE, Murray kind of doing their thing. Tarpany, he had so many of these guns on the emergency, so I can't even complain because Ramian Sorensen 62 and 60, Brendan Hands 46 on there. So again, really good depth. Ended up getting Kotrick this week as his cash out. And everyone else did really, really well. Yeah, he has Fafita in there. It's just a Cleary one. If Cleary went 80 plus, then I'm sweet, but he didn't. So yeah, that's the frustratingness on that front. Stuart got 999, and Chris in up top, unfortunately loses a couple of ranks for him, but 973. So I didn't make any ground on anyone above me, which is a little bit sad, but it happens. Unfortunately, no real crazy scores down below. A bunch of 900s from everyone else in the Podcasters League, which is cool. And anything else to go through there? I don't believe so. Cowboys official, I'm 6th. So nothing changes there. Who we facing? Who we chasing there? Okay, so we're a couple 100 points behind. Got a few people messaging me like they're at the top of their supporters league, and that's their goal, to win those. So yeah, very, very cool. And just crazy to see, like, when you look at your team, when you hit, you just go straight to your team there. It tells you obviously how many players are playing, and 88, there's obviously some burner teams and head-to-head teams and stuff, but 88 out of 219,000 teams is pretty cool to see. And if you're anywhere in the top sort of 1,000, you're in the 0.1%, you're in the 0.5% there. So you're doing absolutely incredibly well. So congrats to all you guys and anyone who's just outside that. It's very easy to push through if you have a few trades remaining. But that's the results video for this week, I believe. I wish you all the best of luck heading into round 22.